From the low country of South Carolina right to the Derby City. Right now on the WHAS11 night team, meet the new basketball coach for the Louisville Cardinals.
But hundreds and hundreds of people traveled all the way across the country, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Pat Kelsey is fresh off a record-breaking run at the College of Charleston. And new tonight, we're getting reaction from the U of L greats who supported Kenny Payne.
He's going to do the very best he can do. It will come back. It can come back, but it's going to take time.
Also new at 11, the big vote and protecting EMS service.
2-1 vote in favor of going forward with negotiations with AmeriPro to provide services for ambulance for Floyd County.
Floyd County, Indiana switches EMS providers after the last company was once run by the former Clark County Sheriff, Jamie Knoll. New right now from the WHAS 11 night team. And tomorrow afternoon, we will meet Pat Kelsey, the new head coach of the U of L basketball program. Nearly 2 years exactly from when they hired Kenny Payne to do that job. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us here on the WHAS 11 night team. I'm Doug Proffitt. The 48-year-old Cincinnati native has been the head coach of the College of Charleston in South Carolina. So tonight, you're going to meet him early. 4 days ago, after losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament, he was asked about the importance of his faith.
It's the center. I'm about my faith, my family, and hoop. Faith, family, and teaching, and it's always centered there. God surely is great. So maybe my favorite question of all time. I really appreciate that.
He is known for his enthusiasm and intense excitement on the sidelines, helping that Charleston team get to a record number of wins and their first NCAA tournament run since 2018. WHAS 11 night team's Alex Dieterer has been talking tonight with former U of L players and others.
These guys are going to go nuts.
Here he is at the College of Charleston, the man taking over the University of Louisville's basketball team as their next head coach.
Hey, Coach, here we get him going.
You just heard from him. Pat Kelsey, who grew up in Cincinnati, will now take over for Kenny Payne, who was fired 2 weeks ago.
Pat Kelsey is a quality coach.
He's a proven winner who's done this for a long time. He knows what he's doing, and I think Louisville fans can be very excited about that.
You're getting a good coach in Pat Kelsey. He's won everywhere he's been.
2 local radio hosts and former U of L championship player Jerry Eves have been following this job hunt closely and many times frustrated with it. Now, there seems to be something in common.
Well, when I found out that he was taking it over, it was a relief.
The biggest feeling was just kind of relief that there was a name, that you could turn this page to the next chapter.
While there is some hesitation still for Mike Rutherford of the Card Chronicle.
I think there's some concern about his ability to win at this level just because he's never done it before. But I think you also have a guy who is well regarded in coaching circles, has a great reputation nationally, and who's won for over a decade consistently.
And Nick Coffey with Sports Talk 790 is also hesitant after a rough 2 years.
I felt as if the program would go in a direction with someone that's a little more proven at this level.
But there's also hope for Kelsey and the Cards.
I think he's somebody that really checks a very important box right out of the gate, which is energy, enthusiasm.
Coach Kelsey is a fine coach. He's going to do the very best he can do. It will come back. It can come back, but it's going to take time.
In Louisville, Alex Dieterer, WHAS 11 on your side.
So tonight, more on what's coming tomorrow. Our sports director, Kent Spencer, is joining me here. Kent, it's a major jump for Kelsey. He spent the last decade as the head coach for 2 relatively small schools in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, Pat Kelsey has had a lot of success at those stops, but those are one-bid leagues where you have to win your conference tournament to make it into the NCAA tournament. Now, we all know this job, this stage, is a different animal, and we're just going to have to wait and see how he handles it. Kelsey has been at Charleston for the past 3 seasons. He's guided the Cougars to back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances. Before that, he was the head coach at Winthrop for 9 years, where he led them to 2 NCAA tournament appearances. It would have been 3, but the 2020 tournament was canceled. He has a career coaching record of 261 and 122. When you look at his team this year at Charleston, the Cougars were 27-8. They averaged 81 points a game, which was 27th best in the country, but just 230th in the country in scoring defense. And as you mentioned, he grew up in Cincinnati, went to Xavier, spent time as an assistant at his alma mater under Chris Mack, was at Wake Forest under the late Skip Prosser and Dino Gaudio. The obvious knock, lower level, has never won an NCAA tournament game, but like we've been saying, keep in mind, he was always in a one big league until now. For the first time, he's got the keys to a pretty good car.
Good point. This coaching search has been crazy. You had Richard Pitino's name brought up, and now his connection, Kelsey's connection to Chris Mack, the former coach. It just seems like it's going in this circle.
And remember the day that Josh Hurd fired Kenny Payne. He said he wanted somebody that would crawl to Louisville. Think about this. Pat Kelsey's name has been linked to this job since pretty much it opened. Scott Drew, Dusty May, Josh Schertz. Pat Kelsey has always been there. He finally got the job. He doesn't have to crawl, but he's on his way.
All right. I know you'll be there asking questions tomorrow. In fact, U of L President Kim Schatzel and Athletics Director Josh Hurd is going to be holding that news conference after the board meets tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. I'll be here live with you for a special report. Kent's going to be at the news conference live, joining us from U of L for our coverage. You can watch it live just after 3 p.m. That's after the U of L Athletic Board ends here on WHAS 11, or go to WHAS11.com, and you can also see it on the free WHAS 11 app. Now, happening new tonight, Floyd County, Indiana will soon have a new EMS provider. They decided tonight to cut ties with New Chapel EMS at the end of May. New Chapel was once led by the former Clark County, Indiana Sheriff Jamie Knoll, who was under investigation. WHAS 1119's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Addie Hill covered the meeting and talked to commissioners about their new choice.
With roughly 65 days until Floyd County's contract ends with New Chapel EMS, the commissioners voted 2-1 to move forward with a 1 to 2 year contract with the new provider, AmeriPro Health.
It's not the cheapest solution, but I think it's a very reasonable price to pay to restore public trust and confidence in a service that has been rocked the last several months.
This new contract will cost the county about $1.5 million annually for 3 ambulances and a quick response vehicle. John Schellenberger was the only commissioner against the proposal.
We've had 11 providers here in Floyd County over the many years, okay? We need to go with something different. We need to go with a fire-based EMS.
The Floyd County Commissioners Board were facing 3 bids to vote on, 2 EMS proposals and a fire-based ambulance service. In the end, they ultimately agreed it was time to end ties with New Chapel EMS after 7 years. The service provider was founded by former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll, who's now accused of misusing company funds.
The new administration has done what they can. I think they're under a lot of, as was said earlier, baggage.
Residents addressed their concerns and options they wanted to see.
I recommend that you move forward with the RFP from AmeriPro.
I would love to see a fire-based ambulance service.
One first responder also advised the board to go with the fire-based EMS service through Highlander Fire Protection District.
If you go with our plan, if it's not sufficient, ask. Ask us, we'll step up.
Al Knable, president of Floyd County Commissioners, says all the fire departments need to come up with a plan in order for a fire-based EMS service to work. Now he says it's up to the Floyd County Council to approve funding with AmeriPro Health.
If they outright say we don't have the finances, then I really need to know from them what options we have financially.
In Floyd County, Taylor Woods, WHAS 1119 on your side.
And we contacted New Chapel EMS for comment after the Floyd County vote tonight. We have not heard back from them as of news time here. The Floyd County Council plans to have a funding meeting next week. 2 people were injured after a fire broke out at this gasoline distribution company in Bowling Green. The massive fire shut down traffic around the area and forced the evacuation of a nearby school. Bowling Green Fire Department was able to contain the blaze just after 7:30 tonight, but traffic in the area remained closed for several more hours. 2 employees at the business were treated at the scene for minor injuries. The oil company is about a mile and a half away from Western Kentucky University. Right here in Louisville, 4 people had to be checked out today after they were exposed to carbon monoxide. One of them ended up in the hospital. A Louisville Fire Department spokesperson says crews responded to reports of a possible gas leak on Bardstown Road near the Gardner Lane Shopping Center at 11:30 this morning. This is also very close to the Waterson. Crews found high levels of carbon monoxide in the building. LG&E was called in and discovered the leak was coming from an air unit on the rooftop. The leak was controlled within 3 hours there along Gardner Lane. Metro police detectives have made an arrest in a deadly shooting in Valley Station that happened in early February. Police have charged Richard Goodman with murder and possession of a handgun in connection to a shooting that left 21-year-old Kylie Miller dead. Police say they found Miller dead at a home on Sidney Renee Way on February 18th. According to court documents, Goodman exchanged a phone call with an inmate at Metro Corrections talking about the murder before Miller was found. Police say he knew details about the crime that were never made public. Goodman is expected in court tomorrow morning. Now we're moving to Baltimore here on the night team with new details about the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. Dive teams have recovered 2 bodies more than 24 hours after that cargo ship crashed into the bridge, causing the major collapse. 8 construction workers were on the bridge fixing potholes when the cargo ship hit it. 2 were rescued. The 2 victims pulled from the water today are 35-year-old Alejandro Fuentes and 26-year-old Dorlian Cabrera. They were found in 25 feet of water trapped inside their pickup truck. The 4 other workers are still missing and presumed dead. Today, investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board boarded the cargo ship to conduct interviews and look over the damage.
We do have a download from the voyage data recorder that we've sent back to our lab to evaluate the data and begin to construct a timeline of events, which we hope to have later today.
As the investigation now moves forward, Maryland officials say the most urgent priority is to open up the Port of Baltimore. And again, it is the busiest in the United States for cars and farm equipment. Now right here at home to our 95-year-old Clark Memorial Bridge over the Ohio River in downtown Louisville. Another lane closure on the bridge tomorrow morning. Right now the bridge is restricted to 2 lanes, carrying traffic from Indiana to downtown Louisville only. Crews are working on the portion of the bridge damaged after that semi was left dangling right off the side on the 1st of March. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., crews will restrict traffic to just 1 lane to continue repairs on the 2nd Street Bridge. The lane is expected to reopen at 2 tomorrow afternoon.